Buenas tardes, hola, bonjour, shalom, assalamu alaikum. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Day 2 session this afternoon. Yes, at this time, we are going to have a presentation from the T. Thomas Fortune House Foundation. We have Gilda, Kate, Bree, Holly, and Jennifer. Give them a wonderful, warm round of applause. They will be presenting. You already have received the flyers and handouts so that you are also informed on upcoming events. And without further ado, ladies, please take it over. Here are the mics as well.
Hello. Oh, I can use this. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here. I didn't think this day would ever get here, and it is here. Thank you so much. I want to take the opportunity right now to thank the Homicide Commission, Tamar, Trevor, Dr. Lammy, for inviting us to be here. We are the art of social justice, all right? I'm Gilda Rogers, and I am the executive director of the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. And these are my colleagues who I work with for the art of social justice.
Hi. My name is Kate Cordaro. I'm the Director of Education at Two River Theater.
And hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer Chauhan, and I'm Executive Director and co-founder of an organization called Project Right Now.
So you're probably wondering, what is the art of social justice? The art of social justice is a timely collaboration between the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center, Two River Theater, and Project Right Now in Red Bank. We offer a transformative teacher education experience with social justice in the forefront. So that is what we will bring to you today, is the art of social justice. Now let me get easy. Okay, there we go. So you see here, it's a collaborative professional development program for teachers that fuses Black history and lessons that come from the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center, theater, and poetry and reflective writing. 3 sessions a year on Fridays. How about that? On Fridays, yes. So we're glad to be here to be able to present our program to you.
And the next thing that we have coming up for this program is our summer preview. This is a 3-hour free event where you can get a sneak peek of what we're going to be working on and presenting throughout this upcoming school year. So that is on August 26th. And you can scan that QR code to get more information and register.
And the event will be taking place similar to how we do it on those 3 Fridays, where you'll start at the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center for an activity. You'll move to the Two River Theater, and we will provide some refreshments as well.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you, ladies. So I want to welcome you or introduce you to the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. The T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center opened in 2019 in Red Bank, New Jersey. After a long period of time, the home was actually going to be demolished. And I formed a community group to stop that, and we were able to do that. And so now we're here. And many of you, I don't know if you've heard of T. Thomas Fortune or know anything about him, but T. Thomas Fortune lived in this house in Red Bank from 1901 to 1911. T. Thomas Fortune was born into slavery in 1856 in Marianna, Florida. As I said, he lived in the home from 1901 to approximately 1911. The home is a National Historic Landmark, and it also is a National Historic Journalism site. Now, who is T. Thomas Fortune, really? Who is he? How can I see a show of hands? Have anybody ever heard of T. Thomas Fortune here? So a few. All right, this is great. All right. T. Thomas Fortune was very influential when we think about the time that he is living during the Gilded Age. He comes along in the late 19th, early 20th century. He is, he gives W.E.B. Du Bois, someone we have all heard of, his first writing job. He is a mentor to Booker T. Washington, and he's also a very close colleague of Ida B. Wells. The home in 1887, T. Thomas Fortune actually founded the National Afro-American League. The National Afro-American League was the first Black political organization that led with the tenets or principles of education, litigation, and agitation. Now, these principles were adopted by the NAACP, the longest or the oldest political organization in the country that still exists today, but they were adopted from the National Afro-American League. The exhibits, when you come to the home, not if, but when you come to the home, the exhibits that we have in the home are the Black Press, Stewards of Democracy, Shaping Black Identity, and the Parker Family Legacy Room. The room you're looking at right now is the Fortune Room. And what you will find here in this room are the pioneers of the Black press. Fortune was influenced by a gentleman up there named John Wesley Cromwell, who had a newspaper in Washington, D.C. called the People's Advocate. This is how Fortune found his way into journalism. Prior to that, Fortune had attended Howard University in 1875 to study law because he understood that at one time we were a country governed by laws. And in order for him to uplift his race, he felt becoming a lawyer would be the thing to do, but veered off into journalism, and this is how he links up with Cromwell. The first Black newspaper is started by John Russwurm and Samuel Cornish in 1827. So in 2027, we will be celebrating and commemorating the 200th anniversary of the Black press. What many people might not know or haven't connected with is that the Black press actually changed the social landscape of America when we think about the Great Migration and the Harlem Renaissance. In our second space in the house is the Ida B. Wells room. Now, we all know of Ida, have heard of Ida. Ida was born in 1862. What most people are not aware of is that her and Fortune had a very close relationship. Ida and Fortune, let me back up. Ida B. Wells's newspaper, the Memphis Free Speech, was burned down in 1892. At that time, she was actually in Philadelphia giving some speeches. Fortune actually met her in Jersey City to let her know the devastating news that her newspaper had been burned down. With that, he asked her to come and work for him out of his newspaper in New York. Fortune actually was the editor of 3 newspapers, the New York Freeman, the New York Globe, and the New York Age, the most prominent of the 3. And that is the newspaper that Ida B. Wells came and worked with Fortune to continue her anti-lynching work. She actually wound up living with the Fortune family in Brooklyn, New York, because prior to Fortune moving and his family moving to Red Bank, they had lived in Brooklyn for 24 years. So that is where Ida went to stay to continue to do her anti-lynching work at his home. She drew up a map. She's known as the first Black investigative reporter. Ida B. Wells drew up a map where she went and collected the data from around the United States of how many Black people have been lynched in various different states all over the country. That map you will find at the Cultural Center in the Ida B. Wells room. On that map, she gives you the number of the people, Black people who were lynched in that state, and she also tells you the number of the congressmen who did not vote in 1922 when a bill was introduced, the anti-lynching bill was introduced to Congress in 1922, all drawn from Ida B. Wells's work. Do we have any idea when that anti-lynching bill was passed? 2022. So it took 100 years before our Congress deemed it important enough to vote to say that lynching was something that should not take place in this country. Ida B. Wells was also a very important figure of the women's suffragist movement, and we know that. Now, if we go upstairs in the Fortune House, and all of you at some point, if you go online, you can take our virtual tour and it will tour you around the house. Upstairs in the Fortune Cultural Center, you'll find the Parker Family Legacy Room. The Parker Family Legacy Room represents the first Black medical professionals who came to Red Bank. Dr. James Parker Sr. was the first Black doctor in Red Bank who opened his practice in 1916. However, Fortune's son, Frederick Fortune, who graduated from Red Bank High School in 1910, would go on to become an OBGYN surgeon in Philadelphia. So the medical piece, social justice, is all exists there in this home. In the Parker Family Legacy Room, you will meet the 3 brothers, Dr. James Parker Sr., his brother William, and his brother Cephas. All one generation removed from slavery, all became medical professionals. William became a pharmacist and Cephas became a dentist. Their sons followed in their footsteps. Dr. Parker Jr. became the first Black doctor on staff at Red Bank Riverview Medical Center, and at Monmouth Medical Center. So we have that for those who are into STEM to come and learn the history of the medical profession that existed right there in Red Bank. Also, while you're in the home, in the Parker Family Legacy Room, you would be introduced to Dr. Charles Drew. Now, Dr. Charles Drew is the reason we have blood banks, is the reason that if we need a blood transfusion, we can get one, because he was able to, he discovered how to separate and preserve blood plasma. He also was the professor of Dr. James Parker Jr. And A. Philip Randolph is another name that you will be introduced to at the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. A. Philip Randolph and Dr. James Parker Sr. were the best of friends. Dr. Parker Sr. was a Pullman car porter, and we all know that A. Philip Randolph was the leader of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, which became the first Black legitimate union under the American Federation of Labor. So this T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center, it's a beautiful two-story Victorian-style home, but there's a lot of history packed inside this home. And our mission is to uphold the civil rights and social justice legacy of T. Thomas Fortune, who fought on behalf of his race and to make this nation recognize the contributions of African American people. So at this point, we're going to talk to you about some of the educational programs that you would find at the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center. I'd like for our education coordinator, Holly Cluck, to come on over, and we're gonna go through this.
Probably wondering why I was lurking there. Yes. We have a number of educational programs to help you with your mission to educate your students. We have guided school tours, which they are 2 hours. They're guided. And one exciting thing that we added to it this year is we've added a scavenger hunt. So the students can follow up, do a QR code on their phone and use it to explore the museum by finding things. And we've found the feedback from students has been absolutely awesome for that. We have lesson plans and resources. I really want to talk about that because a lot of what we teach at the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center, I mean, Gilda just did an amazing job talking about we are a small place that tells a really big story. And it's a story that's not often being told. So one of the things we're doing is putting together resource guides for teachers and to coincide with the 200th anniversary of the Black press. Because again, if you want to teach history, you have to be familiar with the Black press because that's where that history was told. So it's a 24-page guide. It's written, it gives you lesson plans. It's written using the NJEA framework, working with Stacy Schiller, who is in the audience. We also did a performance task with her through the NJEA consortium. But when you come to our Art of Social Justice, we give you access to that. Because when we do the Art of Social Justice, we don't want to just tell you this information. We want to give you the tools to take that information back to your schools. For those of you who cannot come for a school tour, and I know sometimes it's hard, budget cuts, things like that, we have a pop-up mobile display and traveling exhibit with interactive lessons for your students. So you can also cover a lot more students because we could do a session in the morning and a session in the afternoon. So we have that available. The Fortune Teller program, which is amazing, and I'm going to turn that to Gilda to share with you.
So the Fortune Tellers program is our youth docent tour guide program. That program is very dear to my heart because I get the opportunity and those involved in the Cultural Center to help to shape the minds of these young people to make them more conscious of social justice, right? So in the summer, the month of July, I work with a selected group of students. They actually learn all of these exhibits in the home, and then they come back in the fall and they start to work at the Cultural Center as we call them the Fortune Tellers. It's a paid position. It's not volunteer. If they stay with the program until they graduate high school, they actually get a scholarship. The program is supported by Monmouth Medical Center. This is a new wave of, and we all know education is the best offense, best defense, and to be able to educate the young minds of youngsters in the realm of social justice is very critical, particularly right now. So this program, we've been doing it now for probably like the last 5 years. And we have students that have graduated, that are in college, they come back, they help. We have students that went away, came back, and now are on our board of directors. Because I recognize it's important to have young people at the table. It's important for us to hear what their views are and what they have to say. And this is how I see our program being sustained, because we're giving to them and then they're giving back to us, right?
And I would encourage you to have your students apply to become fortune tellers, because they also receive a scholarship when they graduate high school and go on to college. We have in-service training for teachers, but what I really want to talk to you about today is what we're here for, the art of social justice. Now, the great Ida B. Wells, right? She once said, in order to right a wrong, you need to shine the light of truth on it. And you don't have to look really far to see a wrong. You just have to look at what's happening in the Smithsonian right now to see that there are a number of wrongs that need to be righted. And the way to do that is not by erasing history, but by teaching it. And that is the mission of the art of social justice. Our goal is to give you the information and to give you the tools so you can shine that light to your students. Now, when you come, our portion of the art of social justice is history. Makes sense, Jess? When you come, we don't just give you information on the historic figures that you do know. But we do, Constance Baker Motley, Ethel Payne, A. Philip Randolph, Angela Davis, Ida B. Wells, but to give you information on the quote unquote hidden figures that you might not know, but you should know. And last year, one of the people that we talked about was Dr. Walter S. McAfee. Show of hands, how many of you know who Dr. McAfee was? Excellent. One person. And that's not to shame anybody, because honestly, until last year, I didn't know who he was either. And shame on me, because he actually taught in the university where I did my graduate work for 20 years. Dr. McAfee helped shape the space age. He was not only from New Jersey, he did most of his work in Fort Monmouth, which is in the backyard of the T. Thomas Fortune House in Red Bank. He was an African-American civilian scientist, part of what was called the Black Brain Trust that worked out of Fort Monmouth. How many of you use a weather app on your phone? Cool. How many use that little app to track and see where your kids are? GPS. All of the, I never got anywhere without GPS, not quickly. All of those technologies came out of the work of the Black Brain Trust, the African-American scientist who worked in Fort Monmouth. Now, Dr. McAfee is famous for that, but he is most famous for his pioneering work on Project Diana in 1946. And I hope if you're a science person, I'm doing this justice, because physics sometimes way past my brain trust there. But Project Diana, what the Army wanted to do was see if the ionosphere could be penetrated to track incoming missiles. It was work on radar. Now, World War II was over. There were no missiles coming in. So they decided they were going to try to bounce a radar signal off of the moon. They worked on it for a while. Early calculations were not working until Dr. McAfee was brought in to figure it out. Using Dr. McAfee's work On January 10th, 1946, at 11:58 a.m., the team detected the first signals reflected back from the moon. And when we presented him at our Art of Social Justice, we had the woman who was the Army curator for Fort Monmouth come and give the presentation. Press reports at the time called this the dawn of the space age. Now, Dr. McAfee lived in New Jersey. He did his work in Monmouth County, right? They called this the start of the space age. Dr. McAfee in scientific circles is considered the father of the space age. And despite the fact, which will not surprise anybody, in 1946, it was his calculations. Initially, Dr. McAfee was not given credit, but that was corrected. And in 2015, Dr. McAfee became the first African American inducted into the Army Material Command Hall of Fame. Now, here's what I'm going to throw out to you. Almost every school child in America knows the name Elon Musk. And let's face it, half the time, his spaceships blow up, right? But how do they not know the name of the man whose work made Elon Musk's work possible, right? So that's why that's the goal, that's the mission of the art of social justice, to bring up what we would call the hidden figures and to give you the tools to teach them. So I hope you found him interesting, because I found him fascinating, and I do think everyone should know his name, and not Elon Musk. Okay, at this point, our portion of the presentation is done. I want to bring up Kate Cordaro and Brianna Butler to talk about the art portion of the Art of Social Justice. Thank you very much.
Hi, folks. I'm Kate Cordaro, still Director of Education.
I'm Bree Butler, Education Manager at Two River Theater. Very happy to be here today.
And we're here to talk to you about what Two River brings to the Art of Social Justice. Two River Theater is a professional theater in Red Bank, New Jersey. We do 4 shows a year plus 1 education show. We offer education programs and community programs and events, plus many other offerings for all, including staged readings of Latinate plays. This event is called Festejo, and we had some flyers there so that you can check that out, but it's all stage reading of new plays by Latinate artists, and it's free, and it's next week. So we're doing that. We do small concerts and cabarets, theater for young audiences, dance, comedy shows, radio plays, book clubs, poetry readings, and many other ways for our community to engage with us and with each other.
Part of some of the flyers that were handed out to you initially are some of our listed education programs that we have. Feel free to scan the QR code there to check out more of what the education department at Two River Theater does.
We love partnering with our friends at the Cultural Center and Project Right Now for the Art of Social Justice. Now, our portion of Art of Social Justice explores subjects pertaining to social justice through interviews with incredible artists whose work is at the forefront of American theater. In addition to the curriculum tie-ins, we also offer free tickets to all of our shows for educators who attend Art of Social Justice. And here is a brief overview of what Two River offered to Art of Social Justice in the 25-26 season.
So here you'll see a photo from one of our productions. Award-winning playwright Ngozi Anyanwu wrote and directed The Monsters, which is a story about 2 reunited siblings, mixed martial arts, and the fight for love and forgiveness. It was a phenomenal world premiere production we did in our Black Box Theater, which then transferred over to Manhattan Theater Club after its run at Two River. It absolutely moved audiences, old and young alike.
So for the art of social justice, we interviewed Ngozi and talked about her background and the origins of the play and her writing process and how teachers in her life encouraged her or discouraged her and how that has shaped the artist that she has become today.
Another one of our productions we most recently did was Elephant Shoes. Two River co-produced Elephant Shoes with Deaf West Theater, which is a groundbreaking theater company that offers a rare intersection where deaf and hearing artists come together. It created a unique space where connection transcends language, and Elephant Shoes was a modern day adaptation of Cyrano de Bergerac. And it was conceived and performed in spoken English as well as American Sign Language.
So for the art of social justice, we interviewed Deaf West's artistic director, DJ Kurz, who's seen here on the left with Two Rivers artistic director, Justin Waldman, about how art and activism for the deaf community intersect, the moments in his career that made him realize that art could create social change, and how teachers can advocate for accessibility in their own schools.
Another production that we did, one of my personal favorites we did this season, was A Doll's House. We produced Justin Emeka's world premiere adaptation of Henrik Ibsen's classic A Doll's House. This was reimagined as a play here set in New Jersey in the 1950s, and it wove Black culture into some of the most powerful plays we have ever experienced. Justin Emeka, just so you know, our director, and he also rewrote and adapted this play. He is a tenured professor over at Oberlin College in Ohio. In addition to being a prolific adapter and director, his interview for the Art of Social Justice, which we shared with our educators who attended the event, included some profound thoughts on integrating Black culture into classic plays. And we'd like to share a little clip of that with you as well.
Can you please tell us about your critical essay, Seeing Shakespeare Through Brown Eyes?
Yes, so seeing Shakespeare through brown eyes is really me kind of tracing my own journey towards, kind of growing up as an actor, engaging with quote unquote classic texts of Shakespeare, in Thornton Wilder, and in trying to figure out my relationship to them as a young Black man, as a young Black artist, and trying to fit myself into those worlds of the play, and kind of tracing my journey with directors of how directors kind of folded Black and brown actors into these worlds. And part of my frustration was that I felt like oftentimes Black actors were invited into the play, but without an invitation of Black culture being invited into the world of the production. And so it kind of creates a little bit of a confusion for the Black and brown actors trying to craft characters and figure out who they are inside of this world. And so oftentimes it can feel like you're kind of doing an imitation of a person rather than kind of creating a three-dimensional character that comes out of your experience. And so again, seeing Shakespeare through brown eyes just kind of starts to trace a little bit of a methodology towards inviting Black and brown actors into texts that were originally written for white actors.
Conversations like that are what Two Rivers portion of the Art of Social Justice are all about. Now, at the Art of Social Justice summer preview on Wednesday, August 26th, we will give you a taste of our offerings for the 26-27 school year and season. And we'll focus on our upcoming production of August Wilson's The Piano Lesson. This will be Two Rivers' 7th production in our commitment to produce all 10 plays in August Wilson's American Century Cycle. Summer preview attendees will get our curriculum tie-ins for their classroom and free tickets to the piano lesson. We hope you will all join us. Now, August 26th, we will tell you several more times before we leave. Don't worry. All right, so now we'd like to invite up Jennifer Chohan from Project Right Now.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Good. Okay. So I'm Jennifer Chohan. I'm executive director and co-founder of an organization called Project Right Now. And we are a literary arts nonprofit in Red Bank, based in Red Bank, but we do programs across Monmouth County with concentration in Red Bank, Asbury Park, and Long Branch. And our whole mission is to create spaces where people can come as they are, celebrate themselves, share writing, share their stories. We are all about creative, expressive writing and expression and really cultivating your voice so that you can advocate for yourself and your beliefs and your dreams and everything that you have for yourselves. And two of our longest standing programs are at Red Bank Middle School. We've been there for 12 years doing weekly creative, expressive writing with 7th and 8th graders. And we've been in Asbury Park High School for 6 years doing the Spoken Word Project. And all of those programs culminate in anthologies and writer celebrations. So again, it's about honoring our voices, honoring our stories. And so as a former high school English teacher, yes, former high school English teacher here, I have sat through so much PD that was really like, why? And so for me, it is about creating spaces that gives teachers just a chance to be yourselves, to rest, to be creative, to dream. I really lean into, does anyone familiar with Tricia Hersey's Rest is Resistance? No? Okay, I'm going to ask you to go download it or get it because she really believes in the importance of rest, of dreaming, of daydreaming, of breathing, of yoga, of journaling. And so that is our mission, is to create those spaces. So a few of our programs are, we have a monthly teacher writing collaborative. This is not just for English teachers. You can come join us on Zoom and we write and we share. We also have a Writing on the River retreat annually at the beautiful Oyster Point Hotel. There you can see a teacher gazing out at the water and writing. We just recently did a program at a bookstore in Red Bank where we took a summer pause. And then we also do professional development in schools themselves. That's an image from Long Branch High School where we did a 4-session program on how to inspire authentic, real, not AI generated writing in the classroom. And we also do curriculum consultations. A lot of teachers say, I don't know how to fit this in. And I'm like, I can help you figure that out. So we do that, and also bringing in diverse voices. So where does Project Right Now fall into this art of social justice? Well, we are the culminating event. We take everything that you've learned, probably everything you digested today, and we give you a space to process it. I usually bring in poetry, and we read poems, and we write, and we talk, and we share everything that we've experienced that day, what we're thinking, what we're curious about, and that really helps build that connection and community among the educators. And we're finding that our educators are coming back session after session, excited to see each other because they're spanning all different districts and schools. So it's just a beautiful way to connect through all of the experiences that you have through the entire day. But we don't want you to take our word for it. So I'm going to invite my colleagues, my friends to come on up here. I know the clock is ticking, but we're good. Okay. All right. So testimonials.
So often PD feels boring and like we can't use it for our classroom. This was the opposite.
To learn about history and theater to implement in the classroom and to do some writing was simply amazing.
I felt a great sense of community and supported in sharing thoughts and ideas. And we make it a really comfortable space for speaking out.
I loved all of it. The lectures, the talk, the writing. It was phenomenal.
So I just want to talk again, as we said we would mention this again. We have our free, I'm going to say it one more time, our free summer preview coming up on Wednesday, August 26th. It's a 3-hour workshop. It is from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And we are really, really excited to be opening our doors and be offering this workshop once again for free. We do have a QR code on the screen here. Please scan that QR code if you are interested in hearing about more about the summer preview, more about the Art of Social Justice, or any of the 3 organizations that make up the Art of Social Justice. We will be reaching out to you tomorrow in a follow-up email with all the things that we talked about today and much, much more. Attending this summer preview will give you access to curriculum guides, discounts to writing workshops, and free, again, free is my favorite word today, free tickets to see August Wilson's The Piano Lesson at Two River Theater. The day will begin at the T. Thomas Fortune Cultural Center, so you can explore the rooms that were discussed today yourself and get to learn specifically firsthand in that historic home. And then we will end our day at Two River Theater. And whether you're returning to the series or you're going to join us for the first time, the summer preview offers an opportunity to connect with fellow educators, gather fresh perspectives and resources, and re-energize your teaching practice.
And these are save the dates for our upcoming Art of Social Justice for the 2026-2027 school year. Friday, November 13th from 9:30 to 2, Friday, March 12th, 2027, 9:30 to 2, and Friday, May 14th, 2027, 9:30 to 2 p.m. That is a $60 fee, but it includes breakfast, lunch, curriculum guides, and discounts for events with all 3 organizations. You cannot go wrong with that.
And I'll just say we do accept purchase orders. I'm the person that you would reach out to about that. So you would just email me directly and let me know, and then I'll give you the code to just go ahead and register. And then I deal with the school districts with the payment. So you don't have to worry about any of that. That's it.
That's the
Thank
Art of
you.
Social Justice.
Please again give Gilda, Kate, Bree, Holly, and Jennifer a warm round of applause. All of those things are free. You have flyers, you have handouts. They are here if you have any questions. And again, thank you, ladies, for this wonderful presentation. We're looking forward to that writing and reflection. Yes, coming and being able to relax, relate, and release. Yes, we love those things. Thank
who is the president of the Northern Jersey chapter. We have KC, who is the president of the New Jersey chapter. That was the original chapter in the state. And oh, Semper Fi. I had a brain lock. So anyway, I gave you guys an order and you're not doing anything? Come on. So you guys are rookie teachers, I hear? Aspiring. Welcome to the fun. So anyway, I guess I better get started. We would just like to acknowledge Dr. Trevor Melton, Associate Director of New Jersey Amistad Commission, for inviting us to come and do this presentation. And we will give you a lot of information. It is not complete, so you're going to have to go back and do some research on your own, take notes, information sheet out on the table. If you need more resources, you can call one of us and we will get that information to you. So let me reintroduce these members again. I want everybody to come up on stage so they can see your face. I'm Chip Harshaw, President, Southern New Jersey. Have Dave Big D Durham, Vice President, Southern New Jersey. Sharif Rock Lee, full patch member. Rodney Rock Sherman, associate member. Ambrosine Goddess Q Sherman, associate member. Tara Farila Wolf, associate member. She doesn't have anything on her back because she was just made a full associate member. Krista Casey Clark, president of the New Jersey Willingboro chapter. And Isla Gator Tatum, president of the North Jersey chapter. These are the Buffalo Soldiers of New Jersey. Slide.
All right. How's everybody doing? So I am Reef, full patch member of Buffalo Soldiers, going on 2 years now. And it's been an exciting journey. I love doing these presentations because every time we do one, I learn more and more about the Buffalo Soldiers. So this presentation that you're going to see here today is a combination of a presentation that was created by Buffalo Soldier chapter itself nationally. We have 109 chapters throughout the US, plus a chapter in Japan and a chapter in Hawaii. Germany, I'm sorry, in Germany. So we ride different types of bikes. Of course, we all know best bikes to ride are Harleys. Everything else is secondary to a Harley. All right. But we love to ride as a group. And one of the things we love doing is educating about the Buffalo Soldiers and also doing community service. That's what we're about, not just about riding, but also helping our community and educating. As you guys met, Chip, he is our president of South New Jersey. And then Big D, he is the vice president of South New Jersey as well. I just mentioned the stuff here. So Buffalo Soldiers, the legend. And I always like to say that this isn't it's never final. We're always learning something new every year about Buffalo Soldiers. So this is an ongoing education for everybody. So right now, we're going to start off with our associate patch member, Rock. Can I have your attention, please?
All right, I might have to go back to my rap days and be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so when the Northern troops arrived in the South, thousands of slaves ran away and were emancipated to join in the fight for their freedom. Off to the right there, it looks like they got some type of poster inviting the colors to join the military. When the time came, many African Americans took a long, hard look at military service, which offered shelter, education, steady pay, medical attention, and a pension. When the Civil War ended in 1865, 186,000 former slaves and free men had served in the United States colored troops, 10% of the total Union strength. Another 30,000 served in the Navy, and 200,000 more served as workers on labor, hospital engineering, and other military support projects. Taps sounded over the bodies of 38,000. Though they had not lived free, they died free. In 1866, 1 year after the end of the Civil War, and more than 6 months after the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery was enacted, Congress had the need to reorganize the peacetime regular army, recognizing the military merits of Black soldiers. 4 Black infantry regiments and 2 segregated regiments of Black cavalry were authorized, composed of former slaves, free men, and Black Civil War soldiers. The latter designates as the 9th and 10th United States Cavalry, were destined to become the most decorated of all U.S. military regiments. And now we're going to bring up Goddess Q, associate member.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about how the Buffalo Soldiers got the name, the recognitions and honors, and a little bit about the Buffalo Soldier services. The nickname Buffalo Soldiers began with the Cheyenne Warriors in 1867. The Black soldiers were ferocious and courageous in battle, even when outnumbered. Out of respect, the Cheyenne referred to these hard-fighting black men in blue as Buffalo Soldiers, reportedly because their hair resembled that of the revered bison. And if anyone knows anything about bisons, the hair is thick and bushy. So as you can see, I'm perfect for this calling. To the Plains Indians, the buffalo was a symbol of the strength and courage, characteristics easily identified with the Black troopers of the West. Because the buffalo was a sacred animal to the Indians, the cavalrymen accepted the title with great pride. Proudly adopted, the name became a highly respected American legacy. The Buffalo Soldiers fought with distinction. In the Cheyenne War from 1867 to 1869, in the Red River War from 1874 to 1875, and in the Ute War of 1879. Also in the Apache War from 1875 through 1886, and in the Sioux War from 1890 to 1891. In the end, 23 Black soldiers of the 9th and 10th companies won the Medal of Honor, the highest award this country gives for the most outstanding performance under enemy fire. The Buffalo Soldiers protected settlers. They escorted wagon trains, delivered mail longer than the Pony Express. protected work crew building the Transcontinental Railroad, served at the 1st U.S. Border Patrol, rode shotgun on stagecoaches, and protected the giant redwoods of California before the establishment of the U.S. Forest Service. The valor and exemplary service of the Buffalo Soldiers did not end on the Western frontier. The 9th and 10th went on to serve with Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders as they stormed up San Juan Hill. They not only were with him, but played an important role in the battle. Next, I would like to introduce to you the president of the North Jersey chapter, Gator. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to ask if there are any visually impaired people that I need to read the slide. Any visually impaired? No, good, because I don't follow the slides. So I am here as a West Point graduate to talk about the West Point Buffalo Soldiers. And I would just like to say that we have another West Point female graduate in the crowd that I met this morning, part of your group. So hi, Emily, with little Georgie back there. It's always good to meet a fellow grad. So I graduated in 1987, and one of the first people that we learn about at West Point as an African-American is Henry O. Flipper. He's the first Black graduate of the military academy, but he's not the first to attend. Other Blacks did try to go to the academy, and they faced such ruthless treatment that they failed out or were failed out. One person was beaten, tied to his bunk, and then they said that he had done it to himself, and they kicked him out. So needless to say, although he was appointed and attended West Point, he was ostracized the entire time that he was there. And he actually wrote a book about it. He did graduate, went on to serve, next slide, went on to serve in the military. And there are paintings that highlight his contributions when he was out there with the 9th Cavalry. But he was eventually accused of embezzlement and lying, and he was court-martialed from the military. While he was in the military, though, he did make some very good contributions. He was an engineer, and he's known for coming up with a sanitation method that was instrumental they called it the flipper ditch. And so it was around some of the camps to make sure that sanitation went smoothly in those camps. Next slide. So that ended his career. He went on to try to clear his name, was unable to. Eventually, however, his name was cleared and he was given an honorable discharge. And Bill Clinton is actually responsible for finally giving him a pardon for the crimes that he probably did not commit. So that was Henry O. Flipper. And the picture that you saw at the very beginning, I actually have hanging in my home as well. Next slide. Next slide. So the second graduate, you don't hear a lot about him. John Hanks Alexander, they don't talk about him a lot, but he was the second graduate. He served and was commanded by white officers, and he actually ended up getting a command position. And so he was the first to actually command other soldiers. He later on became a professor at Wilberforce and taught there. The third Black graduate is Charles Young. Next slide. And Charles Young had a very lengthy career in the military. So he was the first African-American to reach the rank of colonel. He actually did go to a white unit for some time. Next slide. He served again with both Black and white units, and he was posthumously promoted to brigadier general. He actually tried to serve in World War I. He was denied. They said that his high blood pressure would keep him from serving. So in order to prove that he was fit, he actually rode his horse from Ohio to Washington, D.C. They still would not allow him to do so. So those were just some of the ways that they kept him from reaching the rank of general. And it was mainly because the white officers did not want him outranking them. So unfortunately, he was unable to live that dream that he had. Next slide. There was actually a female Buffalo Soldier, and we are going to learn about that female Buffalo Soldier from this year's recipient of the award named after that female Buffalo Soldier, Krista K.C. Clark.
Thank you. So I'm cheating because I was actually at an event yesterday. Yesterday was National Buffalo Soldier Day, and I was in Virginia at Fort Lee, where they renamed it for Fritz Lee, a Buffalo soldier who was a Medal of Honor winner. So I was actually at that event yesterday and not fully prepped for today, so we're gonna go from the slides. So Cathay Williams was born in 1842 in Independence, Missouri. Now she was a cook for the South for a while before the war. So when the war ended, she enlisted in 1866 with a cousin and a friend. Now those are the only two people who knew she was a female when she enlisted. She enlisted under the name of William Cathay. Now she served 2 of the 3 years. So when you joined, there was really no physical. They just pretty much said if you could carry your equipment, and follow orders, you were good to go. There was really no physical. So she enlisted, and in those 2 years, she had actually been to the medic a couple of times, and they still hadn't figured it out. She enlisted in St. Louis, Missouri. When they actually figured it out, she was in Fort Hood, New Mexico, when they finally figured out that she was a female. She had gotten sick. She went to the base. She went to the camp position, and they figured out she was a female. So, when you get discharged now, for certain reasons, they send you home. When you get discharged, then you are where you are. So she was actually a cook for some time on the fort. She was a cook. After that, she went to Trinidad, Colorado, where she was a seamstress, and she ran a boarding house. In 1872, a reporter from St. Louis came down and did an article about her. That is the only written article known about Cathay Williams. So in 1899, I believe, she applied for a pension. Molly Pritchard had gotten a pension. She goes, I'm going to apply for a pension. She applied. They sent a physician down. Now, at that time, she had some injuries from serving. She had most of her toes cut off. She only walked with canes. So when the physician came down, saw her walking, said, oh, you can walk. You're good. They denied her pension. So she applied one more time for a pension and was denied again. So after that, there's really no record of her. We believe she passed away in Trinidad, Colorado. At that time, she was probably had a wooden headstone, so we don't know the exact location. So she was the last documented female to serve until females were allowed to serve in 1944. And actually, the first female to sign up at that time signed up at the Philadelphia Naval Yard. So that is the history of Cathay Williams. So who do I pass off to now? To Big D? I think you may need to use that one.
Good afternoon. We got Chip again. Come on, Chip.
So these photos that you're about to see are some of the monuments that I've taken pictures of while traveling around on my motorcycle. I'm trying to get as many as I can and compile it into a textbook to sell, make some money. This is the latest monument that was built, the Friends of Freedom Monument in Lakeland, Florida. This is the 10th Cavalry Buffalo Soldier Monument in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, this particular monument was a really neat place to go. And I'm sorry, I'll probably go over my time, but I have to let you know about these places. The soldiers that came back from Cuba during the Spanish-American War were sent to Huntsville, Alabama. This place was called Calvary Hill. Bible reference, Calvary Hill. Got it? So when I got there, I rode up on my motorcycle and I read all of the notations that they had on the monument. And I looked around and I could see why they called it Calvary Hill. All around the monument was lower than this area. So neat place. If you ever get to Huntsville, Alabama, check it out. This is the Charles Young National Monument, Wilberforce, Ohio. The house was originally taken care of by, I think it was the Omegas. It became too expensive for them, and they turned it over to the National Park Service. The National Park Service has now renovated the house, and I haven't been there in about 5 years, but I'm trying to get back out there this year to see Young's home. But this was a really neat monument to see. His family owned about 80 acres in this area in Wilberforce, Ohio. Next. This one was put up about 2-3 years ago. It is the Buffalo Soldier Monument on West Point. This monument is located on the soldier field at West Point. Buffalo Soldier Field, I'm sorry. West Point graduate over here. And this particular area is where the Buffalo Soldiers trained the soldiers to be horsemen. And the building that sits behind, I don't think you can see it very clearly, but that was the stables and the housing for the Buffalo Soldiers when they were at West Point. Next. Cathay Williams, nobody ever knew what she looked like. There is no recorded record, no drawing, or anything of her. Okay, this monument was in Leavenworth, Kansas, at a museum called the Richard Allen Cultural Center. They just put together a statue that represented what women looked like during that period of time. She could not be placed, this monument could not be placed on the fort because she was given a dishonorable discharge. So this museum had the monument built and placed out there. It's about 2 blocks away from the Fort Leavenworth. Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, Buffalo Soldier Monument. Buffalo Soldier on horseback. The monument actually is pointed toward the bivouac field. That's where the soldiers camped. And this is really beautiful monument. If you ever get out to Leavenworth, it's worthwhile trying to see it. Story that goes with this, my wife and I were driving to Denver, Colorado. And while I was driving, she was reading, and she said, "Did you know there is a Buffalo Soldier monument in Junction City, Colorado, or Kansas?" I went, "No." She said, "It's about a mile up the road." So we go in, and unfortunately, we don't have enough photos to show it, but all around this monument, there are the stories of the 9th and 10th Cavalry. And this area is where the Black soldiers had to live because they couldn't stay at Fort Riley, which was 5 miles east of there. So they pushed them down the road 5 miles. This was like a barren area, nothing but woods, but they made do. And this is the monument that's there in Junction City. This is the monument memorial in El Paso, Texas. I don't know how many soldiers are actually buried there, but there's more than that, but you can see what's there. And I know that, who was it that asked for the funds, donations to help this place? I think it was our national organization. They asked for each chapter to donate a brick to help pave this area. And so somewhere in that area, there's a brick with my chapter's name on it, the Southern New Jersey Buffalo Soldiers. This is a weird story. That time we were traveling to Denver, we actually made a detour. Whoa. We made a detour to Colorado Springs because somebody wanted to see Pikes Peak. Well, we found this memorial and it was located in a park, but the memorial is in front of Pikes Peak. So if you're standing where in front of this monument like it is now, and you look up, you will see the top of Pikes Peak. I don't know if it was done purposely. I have no idea. I tried to check, but nobody seems to know. And now, Big D.
Big D. See, junior teachers, you gotta look forward to still teaching after 40 years, and he's still learning, teaching people something new. So I'm Big D. I was in the Army National Guard for a bit. I've been in law enforcement for 28 years. I am recently retired, and I've been with the Southern New Jersey Buffalo Soldiers for about 5 years. And we're going to talk about who we are. We're the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers. I'm going to wake you up a little bit, all right? Good afternoon. All right. The National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club is made up of 107 chapters nationwide and worldwide. The NABS TMC Southern New Jersey chapter is one of 25 chapters in the northeastern frontier, which includes Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and Germany. And who we are. Again, the NABS TMC Southern New Jersey chapter was established in 2010, chapter number 91 of the National Association Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club. So I'm just going to skip over to NSBS TMC. The mission is to promote safe motorcycling and educate the general public on the rich history and the contributions of the 9th and 10th Cavalry Buffalo Soldiers on Harley Davidson. So, Buffalo Soldiers ride. We ride. Listen, I just got back from Florida, and yeah, ain't no Harley. That's because the person. But you can see me right there. They don't take a picture of my bike. They just got my head, right? That's because I'm making too much noise. Huh? Huh? Oh, that blue bike, that's chip. That bike got about 500,000 miles on it, one wheel left, but it's still rolling. But these soldiers, they do ride. We just got back from Tampa, Florida from a national event, and I got rained on. I was wet, but I just kept on rolling, and the rest of the soldiers rode right past me. So it's all good. So Buffalo Soldiers Educate. What we do is we get out into the communities, elementary schools, collegiate level, high schools, and we try to educate everyone about the 9th and 10th Cavalry Buffalo Soldiers. Buffalo Soldiers serve. So we have a couple pictures here where we serve the community at a book bag drive. We go shopping for our Christmas fund where we give, well, we call it Buffalo Santa. Yeah, that's right, Chip. Buffalo Santa, where we go around and we get Christmas presents for displaced kids and, people in the communities. And also we do we buy stuff for the veterans. We take care of our veterans. So we go to a veterans homes. They ain't got nobody. You go in there, they've been sitting in a hospital bed for days. We go in there, they get a hold of you. They want to tell you all the war stories, and it's just a good feeling to get out and do it. This is why I do this thing. So this is a day of service. We clean Mount Peace Cemetery in Lawnside, New Jersey. We provide for our vets, giving care packages to the Veterans Home in Violin, New Jersey. We help our youth. Junior teachers, we help our youth. I worked in the prison for 28 years. I had a lot of youth. So never give up on your kids, right? They end up where I'm at. And it's like I was serving the time with them, but, you know, everyone makes mistakes sometimes, but, you know, never give up on you. Provide school supplies to school children with our book bag drive. Spreading the word, educating the public about the rich history of the Buffalo Soldiers. And our scholarship barbecue, that's me, Big D's Barbecue. I got my website. Y'all can hit me up after this. I got cards. You know, that's my little new side gig. We do an annual fundraiser event, increasing scholarship offerings. Huh? Well, I'm in Cape May, New Jersey. You know, I'm on the beach. Y'all want to go to the beach? Y'all come see me. I got cook y'all something. You know what I'm saying? I get Chip to pay for it. Awarding scholarships, giving assistance to graduating high school seniors. So here's a couple of our recipients here. We try to give as much as possible for scholarships for kids in the area and southern New Jersey area. So there's more 2024 scholarship recipients. And I'm probably not in a lot of these pictures because I was at work trying to retire. And our 2025 college recipients. Our 2026 scholarship. Chip is in everything. You know that? That's Chip's the man. I'm telling you, Chip's the man. He does a lot for the community. 40 years of teaching and still doing stuff for the community, for kids and teaching people. So I gotta give Big Chip a hand. That's who I aspire to be like. Operation Buffalo Santa. Here we go out. It's cold out there. We be riding them bikes out there, giving gifts out to these kids. I tell you that. We be going to hotels. I mean, some of the kids, it's 5 or 6 kids in one hotel room with one bed. It's kind of tough, but it's good to see the smile on the kid's face when we get there. Our comedy show and dinner dance. Now, guys, listen, y'all got to come get a card from us because this is our annual fundraiser, and all the stuff that we do in the community, this helps pay for it. So we have this year we'll be at the Claridge, right, Chip? Got a casino down there, got the pooled bar, whatever y'all want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good time. So please, if you can attend or donate and buy a ticket, we would really appreciate it. Thank you. And we ride our iron horses. Okay, you don't still see no Harleys in there. Well, you in the middle there, if you see that blue Harley right there to the left, there's 2. That's me and Reef right there. These 2. That's me and Reef. Yeah, we just making a lot of noise. We messing up everything. But yeah, there's a and Chip's on the wheelchair with the 2-3 tires. Yeah, that's Chip. So but they promote motorcycle safety and traveling to support our other clubs. So our motto is we can, we will. Motto given to the 9th Cavalry, and ready and forward, motto of the Cavalry, of the 10th Cavalry. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Big D, I'm out.
So we'll leave this up for a few minutes. If you would like to donate some money to us, we gladly take your money. We're a 501c3 organization, nonprofit. So please send us some money. Our annual comedy show, if you go to our website, it's a good time. We blow Atlantic City up. You can you can come down there and gamble. I'll hang out with you if you want anything, hey, that's what I do. So questions? So let me just tell you, we normally do our barbecue around what was it this year, Dave? Yeah, the end of April. But unfortunately, the weather was terrible. So we're going to amend that and move it back maybe into late May, early June. So all that information will be on the website, southernnjbuffalosoldiers.com. Next question. Say again. Go back to the last slide. That one? Oh, I thought you was trying to get my picture. Hey, girl. Hey.
We have a question here, President.
Where? I walked past you and you.
I was raising my hand.
I didn't see it.
My question, you said someone over there was an associate and they didn't get their, yeah. And I don't know if you can tell us that, but what do you have to do to get to that level? Is it like community service?
You got to come to my house. You got to cook dinner, wash my motorcycle, wash
Buffalo
my
Soldiers, can y'all get on the stage so we can see these uniforms? I told President Chip we wanted to see these uniforms spread out because you can't buy the jackets on Amazon online. No, you cannot. These are earned. There are prerequisites that y'all need to talk to us about. Folks is interested, yes. So you got to take us from the front to the back and to the side.
So the
Self-promotion here, self-promotion. So he's going to tell you about earning the patch on the back, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the front of mine. So I have the 9th and 10th CAV patches up here. I have this, you saw he was the 91st chapter installed. I'm the 92nd chapter. And so we actually adopted the 92nd Infantry Division, which was part of World War II, and they adopted the Buffalo Soldiers. So they're not part of our mission as the NABSTMC, but they are also Buffalo Soldiers. And then I have my president patch. This patch right here is because I went to West Point. This patch right here is because I rode 1,000 miles in 24 hours. And
you crazy.
That's called a saddle sore patch. And this year I decided to test myself further and I did a bun burner where I rode 1,500 miles in 24 hours.
I told you she was crazy.
And then this one here, I rode Interstate 10 end to end from Jacksonville, Florida to Santa Monica Pier. And then also in June, I rode Interstate 80 from San Francisco to Teaneck, New Jersey in 55 hours or less. So,
oh, but she didn't tell you about the time she rode from New Jersey to Alaska and then back to Alabama and then, no, California.
No.
She retired. She got retired.
That was my retirement gift to myself. So I went on a 5-week, 12,000 mile trip. And there I also learned that African American soldiers had helped build the Alaska-Canada Highway as well. Again, under not optimal conditions where the white soldiers actually felt sorry for them because they didn't have the same accommodations and had to sleep in the cold while the other soldiers actually had physical buildings to sleep in.
Okay, so I rode, so I'm not as crazy as she is because I can tell you right now that iron butt, you can have it. I rode from Atlanta home 900 miles in one night. I'm like, you can have iron butt. I'm done. That's it. I'm the president of the New Jersey chapter. We were the first chapter in the state. We were number 6 to join the nation. So I am also the regional secretary for the Northeast Frontier region. I'm also the unofficial photographer for the entire nation.
Yes, she is.
I had to get a new vest because they kidded me about my vest because it was kind of beat up. You colored yours? No, Roadrunner saw mine and said you need new colors. So I've been a member since 2010. And I don't ride a Harley or a Honda. I ride a Kawasaki. And so far, I have not been on a tow truck.
I ain't been on no tow trucks and I ain't burning no buns. But when I was a probie, the rules were a little bit different. Me and my probie partner who quit on me. Well, he said he had some other family stuff, but we rode from Mobile, Alabama back to New Jersey at one clip. And I think we rested for 2 hours. But I don't know what rest was. We just got something to eat and hop back on the bike. But yeah, I was in the Army National Guard. I was also a Freemason. Yeah, I was a Freemason for a while. You know, I did that. I retired. You know, I'm tired. And New Jersey, I got some Indian patches. You know, the Indians, they named the Buffalo Soldiers, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't put any other patches on right now, but you know, waiting for all these other guys so I can take their stuff. But here you go. Oh, here's the back. Did y'all look at the back? Did y'all look at the center, man? Y'all can get a couple of these colors if you want. Y'all just got to come on in and join us and help with the community, your local communities. You can talk to her, talk to Chip. Come on in. Here you go, sir.
I'm gonna be a little quick because I'm new, so I don't have all of those good passes these guys have, especially those 15, 12,000 miles. I don't know. But yeah, so far, I do enjoy being part of this group because of all of the community stuff that it does for the area. And that's about all I can say right now.
Oh, but he didn't tell you that he is also an actor. He has been on. Go ahead, tell it.
Saturday Night Live, Law and Order, FBI Most Wanted.
And y'all thought I
Yeah,
was
we
the
got some
good guy.
criminals in here too.
Okay. I'm one of the newest members. I don't have all the patches, but right now I'm in the process of getting my motorcycle license. Because not only do we serve, we ride. So I need to ride besides being on the back of his bike. So that's what I'm working on right now.
I am the newest member of the Southern New Jersey. I'm I'm an associate member, and this is how your back looks before you get the center man. But I really enjoyed, doing what we do, serve for the community. I don't ride, but I'm eventually going to learn how to ride.
She also has a motorcycle sitting in her garage that she refuses to bring out.
All right, so my riding, I guess I rode from Marlton to Union today. I don't know who designed the parking lot, but it's one big circle. I don't know why you can't go. I had to go in circles like 4 or 5 times. But yeah, I got a couple patches. I know they talked about the 9th and 10th Cavalry. You will see 99.9% of Buffalo soldiers with the 9th and 10th Cavalry patches. And if you guys are wondering what these numbers are, Buffalo soldiers 1866 to 1944. That's what those numbers represent as far as the Buffalo soldiers and the time period we recognized. And I ride a Harley.
So before I get out of here, I don't want any more questions, so shut up. For all of you educators, understand that the Buffalo Soldiers in New Jersey has scholarship offerings. Scholarship offering in North Jersey, Willingboro, Central Jersey, and Southern New Jersey. Also, we have a regional scholarship, which we call our Frontier. I think it was, what was this year's case? $10,000. And then we have a scholarship at the national level, which I know can go anywhere close. I think it was about 100,000 they gave away for that 4 years? Oh, okay, fantastic. We don't have to do it that way. You send me the link and I'll have that. We'll put it on our website. And okay, so thank you all for your attention. I hope you learned something. If you need more information, please see us out in the front.
Good afternoon and welcome back from our break. We thank you for coming on in, and again to our online family, again, welcome back. We're going to begin with the Amistad Commission's Teacher Leadership Committee. We thank you for your attention at this time as we have Andrea Bear and Nasha Parker who are presenting on what we see on the screen. The Amistad Commission's Teacher Leadership Committee. Take us away, ladies.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. As Tamar was saying, we are presenting about our Teacher Leadership Committee. Yesterday, you would have seen everybody in red shirts. Today, I'm going to ask, because we're all in plain clothes, all our teacher leaders to please stand, because we have quite a few teacher leaders in our audience. Some of our teacher leaders are doing presentations upstairs with the college kids, so they're not joining us right now. And some of our teacher leaders are with the Elizabeth School District Administration and Board of Education doing that presentation. So our teacher leaders are very busy. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say overall, we can't do it without them. We can't do it. There are myself, Dr. Mills, Mackenzie, Dr. Lammy, Mr. Melton, 5 of us trying to cover all 21 counties in the state of New Jersey. So we have teacher leaders that are within all 21 counties. We have at least one teacher leader in all 21 counties. So that's the eyes and ears for the state of New Jersey to assist us with our Amistad mandate. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce and let you know who is our chair, the teacher leaders, who is our vice chair of the teacher leaders. And one of the questions you may ask is, well, how do I get there? How do I become a teacher leader? We'd love to have all of you to join our teacher leader committee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Nasha give her introduction and presentation, what she'd like to share with you, and then I'll give you information about how to join us and what we do.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. All right. So hello, everybody. Like Andrea said, my name is Nasha Parker. I am a teacher in Camden City School District, a bilingual math teacher, and I've been in the Teacher Leadership Committee for about 3 years now.
Oh, I've only been here 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
Before you. Yeah. So about 3 years now. And I have to say they absolutely love it. I do want to thank Mr. Andrew Parker and Commissioner Assemblyman Antoine McClellan, and they are the ones that actually opened the doors for me to be part of this committee. And I have to say, I absolutely love it. The work that we're doing is amazing. So some of the things that we do is that we help create the Amistad curriculum and all the lessons that you see on our website. The website is NJACSI.com, and there's a whole lot of resources and information there. I know you guys have heard it through the different sessions that we have, so please go in it, use it. Yesterday, Jimenez, what's it? Ishmael, yes, Ishmael, it was part of the design of that website. So please go in it. You're going to literally find everything that you need. Also, we, through our districts or the districts that are adjacent to each one of us, we are advocates. So we go into the board meetings, we go in with the administrators, and we advocate to get this mandate put in and have accountability of the teachers that are doing it. We're kind of like the middle person in between the classroom teachers, because we are there, and the state. So everything that's happening, so they can do their job, and every other information that they need from the inside, that's where we go. We meet once a month, and we give all the ideas. This is what's happening, what is not happening, this is what we need, what we not need, and they go ahead and get to work as hard as they do, and they plan everything that we need to plan, including this session. This institute is with the work and the feedback that us teacher leaders are giving them. We do, as a requirement, or if anybody wants the information, we do PD. So if you could tell any one of us, can you do a PD in my school district? And we go ahead and we let them know, listen, Essex or Atlantic City, Pleasantville, whomever, they want us to come in so we can do a PD on Amistad and how to implement it. Just let us know. We arrange it. We come in. We give you the resources, talk to administrators, and it gets done. And last but not least, we do have a big part on judging, which you will hear more on the sessions tomorrow about the 4th and 5th grade History Day and the National History Day. So you will hear about that tomorrow, and we play a big part when it comes to judging those students and how they make it to a national level. I mean, regional, state, and national level. Did I miss anything?
Well, she told you a lot, but she didn't tell you everything. She was being too modest. They do a whole lot more. So she was being very modest. Committee members serve for 1 year or longer. You can stay with us as long as you like. We'd love to have you to continue with us throughout your entire teaching career. As I said, she was very modest. Also, teacher leaders, we meet once a month virtually. So it's not a meeting that you have to drive to. It's virtual on the third Wednesday from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. During that meeting, we discuss model lessons. And within September, you will see quite a few brand new lessons coming out on our website that our teacher leaders have created. So with that being said, they create model lessons for us. Tomorrow, I'll give you the full presentation on the website and the lessons. And also I'm going to have Ishmael Jimenez with me on stage talking about the lessons because he was one of the original persons that did write all of our lessons. Also with our teacher leaders, they do professional development workshops within your districts. So as I said, we're trying to accommodate all 21 counties. I'd love to drive and travel all I could and stay out of the office. But when I can't do that, the teacher leaders are there. They take care of professional PD workshops within your school districts. All you have to do is just ask. I have a request sheet if you'd like to have your information sent to you. Just fill in your name and your email or contact information, and we'll get things arranged for you within your district. They're responsible for selecting student projects for the Amistad Commission's special awards from National History Day contests. So I'm going to back up with that one because the teacher leaders assist us with a lot of events. Last year, we did the Afro-Latino contest in Pleasantville. We also did the 4th and 5th grade History Day contest in Pleasantville for South Jersey and William Patterson High School for North Jersey. They did judging for those two. They also assist with regional judging for National History Day. We were within William Patterson for North Jersey. We were at Rutgers for South Jersey and St. Elizabeth for Central Jersey. So our teacher leaders were there assisting with judging. And to culminate, we were at National History Day at William Patterson once again. And we selected the projects that went on to the state competition that went nationally. So they assist with the regional contest. Oh, I'm sorry. North was in Monmouth University.
Oh, yeah.
Monmouth, St. Elizabeth, Rutgers. And then we did the National History Day judging at William Patterson. And those children then went to the regionals.
To the national.
To the nationals. I'm sorry, nationals. And tomorrow you will see some of the projects that we selected of students for the Amistad Commission for our Special Projects Awards. And some of their teachers are within our teacher leaders and will also be here tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing those children and their projects tomorrow about 4 o'clock and into our dinner from 5 to 7. Also this year coming up for teacher leaders, they don't know this yet. We have 2 new additional projects. We have our 3rd grade National History Day, designed by Tamar. Third grade is going to have their own contests coming up. Pre-K to 2, they have a contest coming up. And you would wonder, what can the babies do? The babies are going to be doing a lot. The babies have their own contests where the teachers will design bulletin boards, but it will have to have student input and student project on the bulletin board. So even the babies are going to be involved. Pre-K to 2 have their own grade, has their own contest coming up, a mini version of National History Day. 4th and 5th, we already have their contests going, and 6th through 12 will be through National History Day. So ladies and gentlemen, we're servicing pre-K 4-year-olds to 12, 18-year-olds. So everyone is going to be involved with Amistad next year. Let's see, what else do we do? We also have Summer Institute curriculum presenters. As you see, a lot of our teacher leaders are presenters for Summer Institute. So not just going out within local schools, they also do curriculum development with us, and they do presentations for Summer Institutes. And let's see, we also talked about the planning of the 4th and 5th grades, as well as our additional projects that are coming up. So you may be asking yourself, how do I do this? How do I get involved? There's just 2 criteria. You need to have a bachelor's degree and a standard teaching certificate. That's it. That's it. That's all we're asking. Because we can't ask for a social studies degree because K through 5 are general ed. They're general ed. 6 through 12, you may have the core standards specializing. So, bachelor's degree, standard teaching certificate. Those are your requirements. So, we'd like to have anyone that's welcome to join us. Those that want to do additional work for us are required to have a doctorate in history or African American studies, prefer to completing a doctoral program, and others will be considered based on levels of experience and accomplishments for additional criteria that we have within our Amistad committee. So besides just doing the Amistad committee, ladies and gentlemen, and before I move on, Nisha, is anything else you'd like to add?
I'm sorry. Not like honestly, I just want to speak of experience. And like I said, in 3 years, so we've been doing this, it has become we always, like as teachers, we like having little pockets of family, right? And where we feel comfortable. So being in the Amistad teacher leadership, it has become because we all know that what happens on the north does not happen on center. It doesn't happen on the south. So having all those different perspectives and being able to bring it all together for the summit that we're having right now, or for different PDs that we go up and down the state of New Jersey having. Sometimes we even go across state lines if we have to, because they are. They want to do, or they want to mirror what we're doing. We have become a model of what it is to implement a mandate, because a lot of states do not have what we have in New Jersey. We're very privileged. We're very blessed with what we have, especially on the laws when it comes to education. We just have to be accountable for doing it. Like we have to have accountability for each other. So being able to be in this committee and have the backing, have the permission to get that done, it really is something to think about. It is something to look forward to, because it does help you have that sense of security when you are inside your classroom, inside your school, inside your districts, especially with administrators. I'm blessed to have an administrator that she loves everything that we're doing. I'm extremely blessed with that, and I would not change it for a world. Like she's like, if she wasn't because she has something else, she will be clearly sitting right here with you guys. She was there last year. So that's the kind of administrator that I'm blessed to have. And I know Ms. Trabet, she's part of our team for the Amistad team at our school in Camden. And Tamar, she's in Pleasantville. Andrew is in Atlantic City. So the South, it is moving. I know Teresa is up in North Jersey. Where's Jersey? Yeah,
Corey is in
in
North
Corey is
Jersey.
in North Jersey, and their students have gone to nationals because we've been able to help them. And they have one international. I think Teresa got like second place or something like that at one last year, right? Like she
And
like
she
her
has
students
children
been there.
competing tomorrow.
Exactly. So that's the kind of blessing that we have. And again, being able to be part of this family, it really helps open the perspective for everybody else. And people just gravitate to it, I would say, out of experience.
True. And Jenny, you're in South Jersey, right? Yes, Jenny is in South Jersey, bilingual. So with everything that we do, ladies and gentlemen, that's an additional factor, is that when we have any competition or any type of function for children, we allow any language to participate. We
And
will find somebody
yes,
to interpret.
and we make sure that we have at least one or two judges that speak that language, so the students doesn't feel excluded. That we do make sure of that.
Okay, I'm scanning. Are there any other teacher leaders within our audience right now? I think Deborah was here earlier. Heather Kalish, if you did a session with her, she's a teacher leader also. So they may have gone for the day, but we have all total right now, we have 20 teacher leaders. Stephen Byerly was here yesterday assisting Nasha in her room. So we have quite a few teacher leaders. And we do have some online on our virtual family, as Tamara said. Welcome and thank you for joining us today too. We acknowledge all of our teacher leaders in person and online, and we look forward to a great, exciting programming year. So the only additional detail I'd like to add is each member of our teacher leadership committee receives a $1,000 stipend for the year of service, but that's going to be changing because when we're adding more events, we have to change our stipend. So as we add more events, our stipend will be changing. So, and if you're interested.
But with that stipend, it comes responsibilities. Again, accountability. You have to show up. You have to do the work.
Yes, because a lot of our contests are on Saturday when the children are not within school. And then we cannot take you out of teaching duties unless we have approval from your district. But if you're interested, the form will be updated because this is a previous form. I will be updating the form within the next week to include new information so that you can sign in and apply to become a teacher leader. On our website, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to give too much away because this I'll be going through tomorrow. We have information about our teacher leaders. Who's that? And who is that going into the National Teachers Hall of Fame? And there's Deborah with Can Art Have a Personal Impact on Our Lives and Education? And then we also have Teresa with Living the Revolution. And I have to get Corey's information because she had a fellowship previously that she just attended. So we want to put your information on our website, Corey. You have to send it to me so we can update it. All right. I was looking for her during a teachers leaders meeting. I'm like, is Corey here or did she go to the fellowship that she was doing? We're so excited when our teacher leaders have other initiatives that they work on. And with that being said, when our teacher leaders work on other initiatives, some of them also work into NJEA. And we have that on our website. The NJEA is going to be presented by Tamar, and she's going to tell you about some of the new consortium repository resources.
Thank you, Andrea and Nasha. My fellow DTA Design Team Ambassador Stacy is here. Everyone knows Stacy. So at this time, we are presenting on the consortium. And as you have already heard, in regard to the work that is being done. When we're talking about the Amistad Commission, when we're talking about NJEA Consortium, we're also talking about when you have that interest to serve in these capacities, that yes, they do contact your district. Yes, there are emails going to your superintendent. The Amistad Commission, along with NJEA, reach out directly to make sure there is a strong partnership, that they understand and actually support your professional development opportunities, what you're doing, all of those things. So it brings credit not only to you in recognition, but also to your district, to what you're doing, to your community that you're serving. So as we jump into our consortium, and we want to shout out Teresa again, who has another accomplishment that will be acknowledged shortly. Yes? Yes? Can we say it? Come on up here, Teresa. She gonna tell me I had to hug on her. She like, oh, you hugging me tight. Well, everybody's about to hug you tight. Come on up here and share what that is real quick.
What Tamar's talking about, I think in my session I did share with you. On August 4th, the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, every year they select in each of the states and the territories a history teacher of the year. And so for New Jersey, they will announce that I am the 2026 New Jersey History Teacher of the Year.
You're welcome and congratulations again. That's right. She deserves all of that and more, as yes, she does. And again, we are congratulating. Oh, we're back on here. All right, sorry, Stacy. So anyway, I'm sorry. We had to shout out. We love Teresa. We got to shout that out. So, intro to the consortium. Left to the left, to the left. To there. Oh, there it is. Oh, we have a video. Isn't that a pretty video? Yes, New Jersey. Well, that is, they're like, it's beautiful. That is our land and labor acknowledgement. We were hoping that at least you could have the sound, but it doesn't, and the words. But that is always definitely what we show in giving respect, recognition to the Lenni Lenape, the indigenous people of this land, as well as the fact of the unpaid labor of our African ancestors and forebearers. So we want to pay homage and respect to that. We're moving to our next slide. Of course, when we're looking at the mandates, one of the things that with NJEA Consortium, it is all the mandates. Amistad, Holocaust, Asian American Pacific Islander, LGBTQIA and disabilities mandate, diversity and inclusions mandate. Added to this will be, we know, the Hispanic Latino. Yes, matter of fact, it's already where it has to be implemented this school year. It is just not on this. So we want to ensure that we do know and understand all of the mandates. Did I mention Asian American Pacific Islander? All right, I want to listen, you see how they roll off? That's how we do as DTAs. They got to roll off. You got to talk it like you own it. You got to talk the passion into it. You have to look confident in what you're doing, because if you don't, then how do you inspire others? And this is one of the things that we're going to get into with the consortium, is about doing the work like we do the work here with Amistad. Let me hear you say doing the work, because everybody don't do the work. Am I right, Jean? Everybody don't do the work. Am I right, North Jersey? Everybody don't do the work. So when we're talking about this work, we're also talking about having resources and having this platform, but also the fact that we need to share this. And when we're talking about share this, that means share it in our buildings. That means share it when we come back in September at our PDs. That means we continually to do, after we leave here, share the website, share the information. You may know it, yes, but we want to make sure that our colleagues, when we come in contact, you're talking this, you're speaking this, we're talking about the Institute, we're talking about the resources, we're talking about each other's accomplishments, we're talking about how we're excited about what we have experienced over 3 to 4 days. Am I right? Yes. So this is what this is about. Stacey?
And even though this poster needs to be updated, I have this in my classroom. So when my students say to me, how come we're doing so much Black history? How come we're doing so much this? I point, and I say, this is the law, we're required. And it reminds me too, to make sure that I'm incorporating all of these different things, meeting all of the mandates myself.
And it also helps to, again, this is our protection. You don't have to worry about have your classroom door closed and what in regards to what you're teaching. Administrators, anyone come in should be excited, should be encouraging and supporting this work. Those should be laminated next to your wall. We are learning to. It is part of what you're teaching on a daily, and it is part of what is displayed in your classroom. You don't have to explain the mandates. It's already explained. You don't have to worry about someone coming after you. They have a problem calling New Jersey. It says, look at this, New Jersey Amistad Law, NJSA. You are doing your job. You don't have to defend it. Parents come in. This is a great time for back to school night to ensure parents understand, give them a copy of the mandates, what they're going to be seeing in the classroom, what their students are going to be learning, their children learning about, and things like that. It is all about a family affair. It's all about spreading that awareness. That is why that is there. That is why it is made. Every time you see the NJEA consortium, we have these available for you. And how many you want, it's up to you as well.
Okay, so this is our kind of standard consortium presentation. And so we start with this quote from Bell Hooks, teaching as sacred. To educate as the practice of freedom is a way of teaching that anyone can learn. There's an aspect of our vocation that is sacred. To teach in a manner that respects and cares for the soul of our students is essential if we are to provide the necessary conditions where learning can most deeply and intimately begin. And the centering of students is the basis of all the work that we do with the consortium, and seeing our students as full humans and responding to them and allowing them to grow and present themselves as who they are. What's also really important in our work is this intersectionality, right? That it's not just this mandate and this mandate and this mandate in silos, but how they overlap, right? And I asked Tamara if I could talk about this because I've had this quote on my refrigerator and behind my desk at school for about, 20 years. If you have come here to help me, then you are wasting your time. But if you've come because your liberation is bound up in mine, then let us work together. Dr. Lila Watson, Aboriginal activist from Australia, right? So our intersectionality of our work is really, really important. And then finally, you want to do?
Sure. And so when Dr. Kim, who could not be here today, and in regards, she is over the NJA consortium. She is the associate director for the consortium. And in regards to her, again, the mandates is just not a mandate. It is the law. It is how we continue to develop and empower students to become empathetic, engaged, and global citizens. Dr. Kim does come to school districts as well. Dr. Kim is hands-on in regards to the consortium and the mandates, making it a moral imperative. She loves to be able to talk about that and share how that is so important in the work that we do. Because again, when we're looking at the consortium, we're looking at all mandates, K through 12th grade. In regards to implementation, my fellow DTA Stacy talked about how not teaching in silos. It's one of the specialties that I model as a triumphant third grade teacher in regards to being able to not only implement all mandates throughout the year, but implement it simultaneously, weekly and daily through math, social studies, ELA, writing, reading, all of the things, so that students it is ingrained, it is embedded. What your classroom is set up and what it looks like, how that plays an important part of students being able to be seen, heard, and visible. And so with Dr. Kim, this is where she comes and drives this in regards to the consortium. When folks ask what you get from your union membership, what it gets to be NJEA. Yes, we recruit, we retain, we repeat. You see the QR code that is there. This is what we're talking about, the importance of PD, professional development. One shout out I do want to give. I know that Atlantic City is also the school district that's working on the fact they're having New Jersey Education Association professional development department come on in and do their professional development. Clap that up. Yes. Another school district that is doing that, and I actually have to send the board approval this evening so it can be on the board agenda in August, is at Pleasantville Public Schools. We have a list of eight professional development workshops that NJEA does. We met with my President Kathy Watson, met with our newly appointed superintendent, Dr. Hyman Medley.